So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a little bit of each on the back of my hand. So it is a very thick formula. As you can tell, it's just like a dollop and it's not moving. The Pro Matte's like a normal foundation formula. The Pro Glow is like water. So this one is very heavy. So I'm mixing a little bit of each. I put a little dollop of each on my hand. And then I'm going to mix the two together. That's always what I do with the other two formulas as well. But this looks very thick, very moussey. I'm going to take the Beauty Blender and just take a little bit off the back of my hand. I would apply an area first and not dot it all over the skin because I feel like it would dry because it's already dry on my chin. More of like a medium coverage because with the Pro Matte it covers everything, and I can still see like a blemish here that's on my chin. I feel like I'm using a lot of it too because I'm gonna have to reapply more to the back of my hand. So just doing little patting motions. My nose area is where I have the largest pores, so this would be where it's going to be most important to me, how it applies. Taking a little bit more off my hand. It isn't doing too bad in the pores. It's like laying on the surface of them opposed to soaking in them, which is obviously ideal. Definitely would not say this is a total coverage though. It's definitely more of a medium coverage. I feel like it would be buildable. Like if I go back in here, add a little bit more to my chin area where I want a little bit more coverage, definitely buildable, but not full coverage. I would say it's a matte finish. Like I don't see any oils coming through currently. I wouldn't see, like if I had a glowy primer underneath this, I would say that it wouldn't be able to see it through. It's quite full coverage, but it's also quite matte. I like it with large pores, and that's always a good sign. If you guys have been, I'm going to add a little bit more to the back of my hand because I still have my forehead and it's all gone. If you guys have been watching for a while, you know that the other two foundations are my favorite. My favorite combo is mixing them together. A little bit less than last time. Taking the moussey texture and just patting it again on my forehead. Yeah, because you can still see all my freckles on my forehead. It evens it out really, really well, which is nice and what I want, but you can still see everything. Dry. Like if I have quite normal skin, if I had dry skin, I would say it would cling to all the dry patches because I have a little tiny bit around my nose and it is clinging to that. It's quite like heavy and thick. I can't go back in and blend this out now because it's fully dry and I just put it on there. Okay, so I have the rest of my face on, and the rest of the products did go on top of the foundation quite well. It didn't move the foundation at all. It's still in place. They blended really nicely. The foundation is quite dry, like it's quite matte. I don't find it sticky. You don't need to set the foundation with anything. That's one of the reasons I love the Infallible line, is because you don't set it with anything because it just dries by itself. It's not tacky, it's not wet. I would say, like I mentioned in the try on, I wouldn't suggest it for someone with dry skin. If you have dry skin, it's going to cling to areas. Underneath my eyes is a little bit more dry, as well as like my nose area, and it has clinged to those patches for sure. I do really like it. It looks really nice, really even. The color matches well. Pores are normal. I should have put like more of a pore minimizing primer on first, but it's pretty good. I didn't use any primer just because I wanted to see how it works on its own, and it's pretty good. It's pretty impressive. I normally use Porefessional before just to fill in the pores, and I didn't today, so it's quite impressive. I will zoom in so you guys can see. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to wear it. I'm actually going to try on some wedding dresses. So I'm going to wear this throughout the day. I'm going to do a check-ins, let you know how it's working, if it's breaking up at all, if it's staying throughout the day, because I'm doing a lot of try-on, eating, drinking, that kind of thing. So I will keep you updated and I will see you later. It's 6:45 right now. I've had this on since probably about 11:30 this morning. So it's been on for quite a few hours. I've done so many different things, whether that be eat, drink, try on wedding dresses, so many different things. So this is definitely a foundation that has been put to the test. It is also about -20 here in Alberta, so it is freezing cold, so it has been put to the test of wind and cold as well. I will say, under lights it doesn't look as bad. When I was just looking in the mirror, I was like, oh my goodness. I definitely could use like a powder on the nose. I haven't done that. I could use like a little bit of touching up. I will zoom in closer so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. It has broken up a little bit around my nose. As you guys know, I am a normal complexion, so I don't have super oily skin, so it doesn't really normally break up. I would say that the Pro Matte and Pro Glow mixed together are by far my favorites. It's definitely over this foundation as well, and I'm kind of disappointed. I was surprised that it broke up onto my skin. I thought it would stay all day, especially with it being a total coverage. Still a medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's super full. The Pro Matte is so full coverage. Pro Glow is a little bit less coverage, so more of a light coverage. Mixed together, it makes a medium, and this guy here is a medium coverage. So I wouldn't say this is full. I would say this mixed together is the same coverage as these. So you definitely could save a bit of money by just getting one over the other. I still prefer this formula just because it does last me all day. When I go to work in the morning and I come home at night, I still have foundation on and it still looks good. With that being said, I still will be using the total coverage. I will not only be using it because I have 2 bottles, but also because it's not too bad of a wear. It looks great in camera. When I'm filming a video, it looks awesome, but it also is a good like going out foundation. If I'm only gonna wear it for a couple hours or going for dinner and then I'm gonna come home and wash it off, then this is something that I would probably gravitate towards because it's not gonna be hard to take off. It's not going to sit on the skin funny. It matches my skin really well. If you can find your color in these shades, I would highly suggest them. I did pay probably, I think I paid $18.50 for these guys, but everything's a little bit more expensive in Canada than it is in the States. I think they're $12.99 in the States or anywhere else. They have 12 shades. They did mention on the packaging that it is natural finish, as well as it says it's a 24-hour wear. I would have to disagree. I don't think I could wear this for 24 hours without touching it up. It also does say that you can use this face, body, and anywhere else that you need covered. So if you have a tattoo you need covered up, maybe not using a beauty blender because it might shear it out a little bit, more of like a kabuki brush perhaps. I do not like that the packaging is a different shape than the actual foundation. As you see in both of the other two, the color of the packaging on the outskirts is the actual foundation inside. So it's a little weird that this is a different shade. It has a fake kind of cover over the top because this is ivory. This is the very light shade and it looks different. You can definitely tell the difference. I'm not as impressed as I was when I first tried the Pro Matte. The Pro Matte came out about probably a year and a half ago and I purchased all shades. I purchased them all for my kit. I purchased them for my drawer. I needed every single shade in my life. With the Pro Glow, I was a little bit more hesitant because I'm not someone who needs the glowy complexion all the time. So my final review on the foundation is that if you have normal skin, it will work for you. If you have drier skin, it may cling to the patches like I mentioned earlier in the video. If you have an oily complexion, this would be a no-go unless you're super setting it with something. Just because nose area, chin, forehead is a little bit worn off on me. And like I said, I'm a normal complexion. So ideally, I think this would be great for someone who has normal skin. If you do not, then it may not be the best foundation for you. If you have not subscribed, be sure to subscribe down below so you get notified every single time I make a new video. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon.